in 2022 but need to know where to start?
Stay tuned to find out. Hey, it's Hal Cohn.
And Chris Cohn with Cohn Realty Group. So we're going to really dig in today on what to do before you buy a home. And let's just start with the basics. We've got 7 really great tips that I think if we had before we were buying our first home, it probably would have helped us be prepared before the process started.
Just a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because we weren't real estate agents at the time.
That's right. Yeah, I'm glad you said that. So let's just start with the basics. Let's find out why you really want to buy a home. Jot those things down. Understand what your motivation is to purchasing a home.
So first off, maybe you're paying rent and you're seeing your rent continue to go up. Based on statistics we've seen, rent prices are not coming down anytime soon. So are you tired of paying your landlord's mortgage? Maybe. Secondly, do you need a bigger house? Like maybe you have a house now and you want to buy a bigger one, or you want to downsize and get a smaller one. What are some other reasons they might be thinking about?
Talking about housing style, it could just be function. We've heard so many people like, my house is not functional, or I love entertaining and we have such a small backyard. So who knows if it's that or not. But one thing that when we were renting, it doesn't feel like you can express yourself. When you buy a house, you get to personalize it however you want and put your own stamp on the yard and the home.
And then also think about it, could this be an investment for you? Traditionally, houses appreciate over time. We've seen astronomical appreciation over the past couple of years. We're going to continue to see appreciation, but probably not as steep of an increase over the next coming couple of years. But we're still going to continue to see appreciation in home prices over the next few years.
And it's a great investment, right?
Yep.
Real estate is always a great investment. So make sure you understand why you want to buy a home. Now that you understand why you want to buy a home, let's talk about the next step. And what you need to do is check your credit score. And your credit score is an analysis of all your credit history, and it will give you a range somewhere between 300 and 850.
The lower end of that spectrum is not so good. The higher end, up towards 850, is where you want to be. You want to be trending in that direction on the higher side. And why is that important? Because a lender who's going to provide you a mortgage on the home, it wants to see your credit worthiness as far as how do you actually pay back your debts?
Right.
So you're going to need to do that just to give yourself an estimate of what that credit score is going to be. There are a few different websites you can go to check that out. One is Experian.com, one is MyFICO.com, and there's also a free analysis on NerdWallet as well. This is going to give you an estimate. You'll get an accurate number once you actually talk to a lender, and we'll talk about lenders here a little bit later.
And there's a bunch of different options they can choose online, and it never hurts to get multiple estimates and kind of combine them to see about what range you're in.
That's right.
All right, so you've checked your credit score. Hopefully things are going in the right direction. You're ready to move on to step 3, which is to create your home budget just to see how much you can afford.
Critical. You want to make sure you can afford this, right? So if you're renting, what is your current rent payment? Can you pay that or can you pay more? If you've got a mortgage right now and you want to get a bigger house or a smaller house, how's that going to impact that number? And can you go above or below your current number that you're paying for your mortgage? Or you may be one of those fortunate people who have not had to pay anything over the last couple of years and don't have any payment. So looking at your total monthly household income, what's the maximum you can actually afford when it comes to a new mortgage payment? And what we're seeing is 25 to 30% of your monthly household income should go towards your mortgage.
All right, so now that you know just about how much you can afford to buy in a new home, it's very important that you take this next step, which is making sure you save for a down payment and closing costs, because there are costs associated with buying a home.
Thank you for saying that. It's not a free process by any means. However, the myth of you have to have 20% down to buy a home is not true. It is a myth. There are programs where you can be anywhere from 0% all the way up to 20% down as far as what works for you. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you talk to a lender to give you the insight on exactly what's going to work for you. So for a down payment, it can be anywhere from 0% all the way up to 20%, kind of whatever you choose that works best for you and your budget. And then the second piece of that would be closing costs, right?
Right, yeah, and that's typically about 2 to 5% of your loan amount. So you would want to make sure, remember that housing budget you did, how much you can afford, then take 2 to 5% of that. I always estimate on the high side to make sure I have enough. Start saving that, tucking it away. Make sure you have the costs associated with buying a home, including down payment and closing costs. Your next step is to find a mortgage lender and get pre-approved.
Yeah, this is hugely important. If you're not sitting on a big old mound of cash, you're gonna need a mortgage to buy that house, right? So what we recommend is talk to a local lender or 2 or 3 potentially to find out who's a good fit for you, who you gel with, and who's gonna take the best care of you through the process and give you the most information to get you a stellar mortgage that makes you happy.
Yeah, and lenders offer quite a variety of programs, so it doesn't hurt to connect with quite a few. Find out which one, like you said, would work and works with your goals, your home buying goals.
Exactly.
Also, just keep in mind that in today's market, with it being so competitive, it's vitally important that you get all the way to the pre-approval process. Pre-qualified means you've had a phone call conversation with the lender and they have pre-qualified you, saying that you could buy a home. But pre-approval is when they've really dug into all the information, they've verified everything, and you are ready to go out and buy a home.
Yeah, and in today's market, you gotta have that pre-approval letter or cash if you want to be competitive with multiple offers.
So I'm guessing at this stage you're getting pretty excited and you're ready to start house hunting. You're probably looking at houses online already, but make sure you have a clear goal. So what we encourage you to do is go ahead and write down a list of things that you must have in a home and things that you would like to have at home. And keep in mind during this whole process, there is no perfect home.
That's right. Even if you build from the ground up, new construction, it's not going to be perfect in the end. You're going to get close, but you need to know, like, hey, what am I willing to compromise on, but what am I absolutely no way am I going to compromise on? So make sure you have that list. Some of the things you might want to think about when you're creating that list are going to be simple things like number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, layout of the house, open versus like blocked off. What size yard are you going to need? Does it need to be fenced in? Do I want a pool? Do I not want a pool?
Square footage, garage, off-street parking, the layout. And so there's a lot of factors that come into play.
Yes.
And definitely keep in mind your lifestyle and your hobbies. So this will play into things like, you said gourmet kitchen, but maybe an art studio. We had a client that really wanted a train in their backyard, found that, which was fantastic. But it's also important to know location, whether you want rural or urban or somewhere in between, because that's going to help you in your search.
Yeah, and then also think about schools. People always talk
course.
about that, and like she said, close to amenities, not close to amenities. Lots of factors go in there that can help you determine, like, is this home going to meet my lifestyle and meet my needs or not?
I see an Excel spreadsheet coming up now.
Yes.
All right, well, it sounds like you've got all your ducks in a row. Now it is time to hire the right real estate agent.
Yeah, so we know how excited buyers get once they've gone through the process to get to this point. It is time to find your dream home at this particular stage in your life. You've got the Zillow app, you've got the Realtor.com app, you've got notifications coming at you left and right. I love this house, and I need to find out information about it. So we would recommend that you get an advocate and a protector on your side, which would be a buyer's agent. So they are there to represent you, to answer your questions, to show you homes, and that type of thing, so that you're not having to call the agent who has the sign in the yard, or you're not calling the first agent that pops up on Zillow or Realtor. Call somebody that you've got a relationship with that's a professional and can help you.
So yeah, it is always a good idea to interview professional realtors, because we're here, we want to protect you, we want to guide you through the process. We do it every day, but you need to find a realtor that you connect with and that you feel like will be working on behalf of you. And this is a really it can be a stressful process.
Yes.
Very emotional. So you want to make sure you have the right realtor on your side throughout the entire thing. Sounds like you're ready to start the process.
Woohoo! Let's do it. So if that's you, you're interested in starting the process of buying a home right now, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'll get back to you at our earliest opportunity, and we'd love to help you navigate the home buying process for you and yours.